Hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Leilani. You could also call me Lay. Today I'm showing you video footage from February. And this was because I thought I was going to do the Cliterature Read-A-Thon round 1. Basically reading a whole lot of romances for 1 month. This read-a-thon is made by Steph Loves, so everything I'm talking about I'll just put in the description below. But I didn't post anything in February, so I'm going to post it now because round 2 is this month. And in a few weeks, I'm going to post that soon. But here are the books I read in February that I haven't talked about, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so I am currently reading a book called Ruthless Salvations, and I don't know if you could see it, but basically I'm doing it for my favorite trope, and it is a Grumpy Sunshine mafia romance. This is book 3 of the Bryan Brothers series, and if I'm going to be honest, the first 2 books I gave a 2-star, and the only reason why I'm continuing is because of the content that is supposed to be happening in the book. I am currently 72% of the way, chapter 34, and basically it's 2 point of views. We follow around Stormy, who is on the run from an ex, and she hasn't seen him in 6 years, but she moves every 6 months. And right now she's currently residing in New York, I believe, and she got a job at a strip club as a bartender, and one of the owners, who is part of the mafia, his name is Torin. I think his name is Torin. And he is basically obsessed with her and grumpy. And he's basically stalking her. But he's also, it's like he's stalking her, but also like in the realm of, I'm trying to protect her, even though he doesn't know what's going on with her life. And right now something just happened where she can't go back to her house, so he has now brought her into his home, and basically he's telling his family like, we're going to protect her, but they don't know if they could trust her because they found out who her ex was. And I'm just here enjoying it mostly. I did skim through some stuff when I first started, but now it's getting better because there's more action. And I think that's all you need to know. I'm not trying to like give away spoilers. Okay, so I'm 80% into the book now, and I just cried a little. Some in are trash, like honestly. If you decide to read this book, trigger warnings for abuse and loss of a child or miscarriages. I'm just so upset with men. Men are trash. But she just found out she was pregnant with Torin's child, and she's telling him what happened between her and her ex and how she lost her first baby because she didn't think she would be able to get pregnant again because the doctor said so. And I'm so sad. Okay, so it's later on at night, and I finished Ruthless Salvation. I do think it is better than the previous books. I still didn't really care for the writing style, because I feel like it's missing something. I didn't think the characters had that much chemistry, but I did enjoy the concept of the story, if that makes sense, because it's all the things that I am interested in when I read a mafia romance. I did tear up a little because of the conversation of Stormy losing her baby. But other than that, this is a 3rd book out of a 4-book series. I'm DNFing the series because each book is at least a 2-star. And I don't see myself moving forward with the series because I don't like or care for the next brother, but also how the romance is going to play out because he basically is fake engaged to some other bad guy's person's fiance or something weird. I don't care for that trope. So I'm gonna leave it at a 2.5 stars. I will say there's really nothing else to say about the book. I'll probably forget about it. But it's later at night and I'm kind of tired. So I think what I'm going to do is find a book for tomorrow and then read it tomorrow because it's late at night. I think I want to do 5-star predictions and I think I want to read Heartstopper. So there's that. I will see you when I wake up. Bye-bye. Okay, so I just finished Heartstopper Volume 5, and I really enjoyed it. There's a lot that's happening in this book, but mostly it's about, like, growing up, thinking about your future, thinking about taking next steps within your relationship, but also within your life. And there's a lot of conversations about sex with another partner. And there is conversations about sex ed in here, which I think they did a good job explaining and having, like, personal one-on-one talk-tos with either friends or family members. And I like the conversations between Nick and Charlie because they also want to make sure, since it's their first time, that they're both comfortable with the idea of taking that further step. We also follow around Nick as he is going on, like, a road trip to explore different universities because I believe it's his last year and he wanted to stay close to home for 2 reasons. One of them is Charlie. He didn't know, like, how Charlie would feel if he decided to go long distance. But also another barrier is Nick himself. He relies on Charlie a lot, and his friends have told him about him being a people pleaser. But when visiting outside colleges, he figures out that he actually wants to go to a college that's maybe like 5 hours away. And he's afraid to tell Charlie about having their relationship being long distance because he doesn't know how Charlie would react. And I just think this book is good. I like this book a lot. I am going to say this was part of my 5-star prediction. Unfortunately, I'm giving, well, not unfortunately, I'm giving it a 4-star. So it's not a 5-star for me. I think the last one was a 5-star. But I'm excited to see what's going to happen next. So we leave off on the conversation of Nick deciding Nick deciding what college he's going to go to. And that's where we leave off. So there's going to be a volume 6. So I'm kind of excited for that. I just noticed my shirt kind of matches. So this book actually crosses off 2 of the things. Even though this is what I picked up for 5-star prediction, does it still cross it off even though I'm not giving it 5 stars? I really don't know. But this was for my 5-star prediction. This was also for the LGBTQIA plus prompt, and then also illustrated cover. Okay, so I finished Love Theoretically and I enjoyed it. We follow around Elise, who is a theoretical physicist, and during the day she is an adjunct professor, which basically means she's not getting paid well, she doesn't have health insurance, but she's working herself to death, being this professor for multiple classes in different, like, school systems. And when she has free time, she uses that to get extra money on the side by being a fake girlfriend to anybody who needs it. But it's not like the physical touch type of girlfriend. It's like she goes to a family event and meet your parents and you could lie to your parents and all that stuff. So she meets this guy named Greg, and he is ace just like her, and he doesn't want to deal with the communication with his family because they're like rich and a little bit stuck up, and he doesn't know how they would react, so he hires her to be his fake girlfriend for some family functions. And this is gonna be, I think, the third time that she's been to a family function for him and they become friends. But basically Elise creates like this whole new persona. She gives a different job, and I don't know if she changes her name or not, but basically she's able to look at a person, see what type of person they get along with, and become them. She code switches to other people's personalities so they could like her more, and basically loses who she is as a person. Jack is Greg's older brother, and he is able to observe her from afar and notice how she acts differently or interacts differently with his family, and he's like, that's a little weird. But he also is very standoffish, and she thinks he hates her. But this is the last time she's ever going to see Greg and Jack, because Greg is like, I'm going to talk to my family after this like work trip he has to go to, where he has to like shut off all like electronics and stuff. So because of that, she's like, I need to find a new job. And MIT is hiring for a new professor or a researcher, and she decides to apply. And during the hiring process, she finds out there's a lot of professors who are going to basically want to see her during the interview sessions. But one of those physicists is a experimental physicist named Jonathan Smith Turner. And 15 years prior, he wrote an article that basically was shit-talking on physicists who are studying theory. And because of that, there's been a whole divide between experimental and theoretical physicists, to the point where people who are physicists that believe in theory have not really been able to get jobs or grants and haven't really been able to research. So one of the interviewers says like, hey, I just want you to let you know that this man, Jonathan, is going to be one of the interviewees. And he already has a candidate that he's going to vote for, who basically is an experimental physicist. And she, Miss Elsie, hates him because of that article. Like, she grew up not liking him. Turns out Jonathan is actually Jack, and they both look at each other because she's freaking out because she's like, he's gonna expose my secrets, and he's looking at her like she's a liar and is very protective of his brother. And it's like, you lied to my brother, what is happening? And she doesn't want to out her brother because that'll be a simple solution. Just be like, hey, I get paid to fake date, and the reason why I'm dating your brother is because he's ace and isn't comfortable with talking to you guys about it yet. So instead of saying all of that, she just says, talk to your brother, I can't really explain what's happening. So he decides to get to know her a little bit more because he wants to know her as herself. And she doesn't know how to not people please, and because she can't get a read on him, she becomes herself more frequently, and it's amazing. I like them as a couple. I think they bring out a whole lot of each other. Basically, he just wants to take care of her. That's all he wants to do. Because there's multiple times when her insulin is too low to the point where like she gets nauseous or she faints, and he's there to help her out. But they're both hiding secrets that affect each other like emotionally. But I've really enjoyed this. There is a lot of science talk in this book, so I would say if you don't like science talk, you might not like this a lot. This is very much of a, if you love characters, you're going to love them, because Jack is very much of a book boyfriend. I do want to say I'm giving this a 3 stars because of all the science talk. Like, it's not my forte, like a subject that I'm interested in, because it's a lot of jargon that involves, or a lot of vocabulary that involves science talk. but I enjoy the characters' interactions, the characters' stories, how their life has intertwined for like the last 15 years. But yeah, I enjoyed this. This is a 3-star.